Hey, Randy Joe here, and welcome back to the channel where if you have been following, we have been listening to every single Pink Floyd album from the beginning of their discography to the very end for the first time. Now, of course, you saw the title. Today we are checking out for the first time ever my first reaction, my first time hearing this LP in full, and much of these tracks being a first listen in general. That, of course, being the 1975 album, Wish You Were Here. Now, if you want to see the full unedited reaction of this video and all the other Pink Floyd albums I have listened to on the channel, go ahead and check out the Patreon down below. For $5 a month, you get all my videos unedited, including this one. Now, Wish You Were Here is one of the most critically acclaimed albums of all time, with one of the most famous album covers of all time. And in fact, on rateyourmusic.com, one of the most popular music aggregation sites on the internet with a huge user base, this is the fourth highest rated album of all time, which is quite impressive. It's beating out records such as Abbey Road or Good Kid, Mad City. This thing is quite a mammoth in the music industry, and one that many people will say is Pink Floyd's best. In fact, it is actually the highest rated of just Pink Floyd's on that same site. Do I expect this to be their best album? I guess we'll see. I expect it to be one of their best, but I do love Dark Side of the Moon, and The Wall I have heard years ago. It's the only Pink Floyd album I've listened to before starting this main discog journey on the channel. So those two albums are already albums that I'm a huge fan of, so I do have some, I guess, bias towards them, whereas Wish You Were Here will be a first time only, and I'm not sure what to expect. I guess the only thing I do know to expect is that this thing is essentially chronicling the friendship and the kind of memory of Syd Barrett, who left the band in the late 1960s just after their second LP, and a lot of these tracks are a tribute to him, Mr. Syd Barrett. But without further ado, 5 tracks long, 44 minutes, meaning some of these are quite lengthy. Most of these are quite lengthy, actually. So let's just get into it with Shine On, You Crazy Diamond, parts 1 through 5. I really enjoyed kind of spacey, ethereal direction they've taken their career at this point. I love how atmospheric this open is. There's that gentle with a xylophone. You know, with atmospheres and palettes such as this in their discography at this point, it's understandable why the great Stanley Kubrick wanted their music in his films. Just super, just kind of airy and immersive, very cinematic. I love Gilmour's playing here. Very laid back and not as like showboaty as usual for him. A little bit more subtle. Damn, what a start. 4 minutes in, and it's just setting the stage. Oh, here we go. Oh, what a drop. So wavery. Intoxicating. I love that melody. It's so rigid. Kind of a kind of bluesy space rock approach, I'd say, on this one too. Certainly channeling a more hushed out, smoky blues atmosphere. It sounds so... That guitar sounds like pained in like a deep sorrow. A pleading in it. That kind of sinking, I believe that's the bass line there. I believe it's Waters. And this synth too. Such a like atmospheric, almost fantasy-based instrument. Otherworldly. Oh, Mason. His drumming is as crisp as ever, providing that nice sturdy backbone to the track. Love how like rough. Oh, Waters coming in here vocally. Oh my god. Was that Sid's laughter we heard too in the left side there? Love that just like powerful title drop. What a passage, so full of emotion, a touching tribute, and I think one that is, in a lot of ways, very relatable. I think many people kind of know someone from their past who maybe they're very close to and unfortunately saw the, I guess, demise of, in a sense, or just see them slipping away mentally, or maybe due to drugs, such as Syd Barrett's case, both mentally and the LSD he was taking. I think a lot of people can relate to seeing a friend who, you know, you can't really do too much to help. They kind of have to help themselves, and I think it's a relatable track while still having much of the impact for the band and kind of their own narrative. I love that dipping vocal. What a peak. Almost howling with those vocals. Waters really just belts it out on this track. Oh. Who is this? Is this a sax we've got here? Dick Perry, everyone. Only contributing more to this smoky, dense atmosphere. Okay. I'm more like swinging confidence coming in here. Whew. What a mammoth, lyrically, instrumentally, production-wise, conceptually, what a grand opening. Really felt like it had that grand opening with the kind of peak of those vocals too, where they all came together in a choir-like fashion. Loved it. Let's keep going. Not much to say about just incredible opening. Here's Welcome to the Machine. Another lengthy one. Sounds like a machine, this kind of very mechanical swirling. I think we're going to take off in a spaceship here. Dystopian vision or a view of the music industry. Seem to be the popular interpretations here. I was going to take it as a dystopian future. That's how I was already taking it. From the title and the... Oh. I think Water sings with such sorrow on this LP. Does remind me of The Wall a lot. Really love the tension on this track. It's so kind of immediate and swirling. Very dystopian. Even the reverb on those acoustics kind of gives it that haunted feeling that feels very dystopian and alien in a way. Very desperate. Love how, like, very futuristic in tone. It feels very forward-thinking for 1975 here. I know a lot of artists were, of course, experimenting with synths and electronics at this time, but to hear it infused with rock music so seamlessly wasn't all too common at the time. It certainly happened, don't get me wrong. I'm thinking like David Bowie's kind of 1970s, late 70s era with Low, for example. But there are certainly other musicians you could point towards. But Pink Floyd here, I think, infuses it with prog rock in a way that wasn't all too common. And it feels, really adds to just the futuristic era. And feels crushingly depressing. Probably Richard Wright on those synths too. Maybe their minds have been taken over here, some more sort of mind reading. Very Orwellian. Strong 1984 vibes. Oh, I like this higher pitched synth coming in. Brief, but cuts through the mix. Going up to the spaceship. And a siren rings out. Very futuristic. Was this an air raid? That synthesizer solo. Absolutely incredible. What a gorgeous track, I would say that one was. Very dystopian, very eerie, very futuristic. Strong kind of 1984 Orwellian, Brave New World vibes throughout. There seemed to be some sense of, I would say, mind control taking place, telling you, we told you what to dream. Even that kind of taking place of your dreams, which is, I feel like dreams are such a personal and kind of unique vision to the individual, and having a clearly some sort of authority controlling them really does kind of strip the person of all personality, and feels as dystopian as you can really get. Here's Have a Cigar. Oh, what a twangy, bluesy country tone. A real gnarly guitars on this one. Maybe a critique on the music industry, label heads perhaps here trying to take creative control of the band, claiming to have a deep respect for them, but not really having a deep understanding of the band itself. I believe I've heard this line especially. Definitely have at some point. Love how kind of like smoky and again almost evil sounding this label head might be. Just steamrolling their creativity in a sense. Only thinking about the money. Oh, definitely makes sense considering this is the album directly following their most massive LP of all time at that point, and even now still their biggest LP, and always will be. And it really feels like a critique and kind of making fun of those who clearly probably tried to dominate the band after that period. And a bold defense here. Incredible cohesion at this point. For a band that felt so kind of lost and disassembled in the early 70s, they felt like a band that would never quite find their footing. It really felt like they were in complete disarray. But you're hearing them here, and it's like night and day. A completely different sound, different band. They are so cohesive. Their instruments, the synths, the guitars, and the drums all come together here in such a unified way. Impeccable chemistry, and it's crazy to just see that growth. It's so impressive to me. Oh! That was trippy. And that closes out the track. Turns it into a distant radio. Again, perhaps poking fun at the label head's marketability, turning that sound into a way to just promote it to the masses. Here's Wish You Were Here, the title track. This track is a mammoth. This is the biggest track on the LP at 856 million streams just on Spotify alone. It is their second most popular track on Spotify, which is saying quite a bit. This track is going to be one to behold, one that I have heard before, but I've never paid too much attention to before. This is going to be really, for the most part, I would say a first in terms of a, intense listen, a close listen. And of course, this one being a continued tribute to Syd Barrett. Love the use of the radio here to set it up. Segueing from that last track. Oh. Very cinematic. Is that Syd listening here, perhaps? That's the image being painted. Love this acoustic. Sink straight into it. Oh.
So you think you could tell heaven from hell? Oh, steel rail.
Again, that emotion,
Smile from a veil.
so palpable.
Do you think you can tell? Walk on part in the war for a lead role.
Love all the questions in the lyrics here. Oh. Love how, like, this is incredibly well produced, so clean. Everything is mixed to perfection, which is not too surprising, obviously, at this point in time. But again, just seeing that growth from their early, albums is insane to me. And this acoustics are just so delicate in nature. Here it is. Such a emotional, touching track. And instrumentally, you could feel how raw and visceral the emotion is. The shortest track on the LP, I believe. It is. Oh. I guess not, but if you remove that out or intro, it certainly would be. But it's short, it's sweet, it's direct. The emotion is so dense on that one. Acoustics, the piano as well has a really kind of heart-wrenching emotion to it. And Waters' vocals, of course, like I've been saying, I don't think have ever sounded so raw, so visceral, and just so desperate with emotion. Let's go into Shine On You Crazy Diamond, Part 6, through 9 to close it out. The final track here. Love the kind of bookending of the album concept with this singular track. Not something you see too often. Loving this synth work. A huge fan of synths. Huge fan of Richard Wright, who I think is the unsung hero a lot of the times on Pink Floyd's albums. Everyone talks about Gilmour, but my man Richard Wright always killing it. Feels like they're completely covering all the bases of styles that they've covered previously so seamlessly on this album. What a opening this is. Love the continual build up we're getting. It's like a siren, these guitars. What a powerful mix this has been. Oh. That melody coming back in. Here we go. Slowing it down. Oh my god, I love that. That de-escalation was perfect. Love such a unified choir-like sound. Oh. Such a short passage, but so much impact. Just right in the middle of the track. I love this. I believe this is Gilmour's guitar here. I love how funky this is getting, this outro. I love how just like cool and confident their music can sound. Well, at times, other ends of this album were so dark and depressive. And those synths, of course, so like reverby and airy in the background there. Adding like a kind of sense of mysticism to it. Oh my god. Going back into the melody of the lyrics. So crushing here. Such a heavy, steady end. Feels so sluggish and kind of prodding. Oh, I love this final passage here, feeling kind of hopeful and optimistic in tone. Like a cute and sweet sort of goodbye, like a wave goodbye almost. Perhaps to Sid. And of course it's right with that magnificent synth, adding this sprinkle of positivity to it all. Wow. And that closes out the album Wish You Were Here by Pink Floyd. Wow, 5 tracks. And not a track wasted. Every track here was essentially flawless. What do you even say? I loved the Shine On You Crazy Diamond, book ending. That opening and closing track, I think, is pure genius, pure creative Pink Floyd at their peak, really. Challenging the form of music in a sense by doing something that is very out of the norm and unstructured, especially for a band that was as massive as them, directly after such a huge LP as well. Doing this bookending is unique. It is certainly a creative move that I feel like challenges the norm and leaves quite an impact. But putting in between those tracks, in between that bookending, just more of their kind of political messaging with Welcome to the Machine, something that they dive into more on Animals, I've heard, which I'm excited for. And then, of course, Have a Cigar, feeling like they are really kind of giving almost like a middle finger to the record executives and the labels, which is, again, very bold directly after something so massive, really standing their ground artistically, which I think is very important for a musician to do. And, of course, Wish You Were Here being quite possibly their most emotive and touching track they've ever done. It's not crushingly depressing like some of their other tracks. I don't think it has as much, I guess, dystopian depression as something like maybe The Wall or even Welcome to the Machine sound. But Wish You Were Here does have that same sense of sadness in it, that yearning, kind of reaching out to Syd Barrett. A very sweet, touching track and a touching album overall, with, of course, the Crazy Diamond passage being another tribute to Mr. Barrett. So really nothing negative to say. I would say lyrically hits the nail on the head. I think the concepts here are very honed in, just as they have been from pretty much metal onwards, but I guess you could say it's Dark Side of the Moon that really took the concepts and drove them home. And Wish You Were Here just continues in that same sort of suit. Nothing negative to say. Also just flies by with an incredible breeze. It's really well paced. In the same way that I've said the pacing of Dark Side of the Moon is flawless, I actually think that record feels like a quick 30 minutes. It's so fast, and it just hits you with one track after another. And that's definitely one of the reasons why it makes it so timeless. And Wish You Were Here, again, definitely has that same sense of just perfect pacing, and that's because you got these slow buildups that kind of have a huge payoff that really makes the wait all worth it. So, not much else to say. Loved it. Definitely one of their best. I'll say that now. And I guess when we do the tier list one day, once we finish out their discography, we'll see where this ends up. But I have a feeling it'll be quite high. So, with repeated listenings, it could be my number one. But I guess we'll see. I do love a lot of their work so far. But, as always, if you want to check out the Patreon for this video and all my Pink Floyd videos unedited, go ahead. It's in the description down below. For $5 a month, you get all my videos from this year unedited, including the Bjork albums I've also been covering throughout the year. And for bonus content beyond that, of course, it's $10 and up for additional content, which I do plan still to eventually add more to that. But as always, my name is Randy Joe. I appreciate you watching, and I'm signing off.